hating on me. I pull up to the club.
Hey, pay me one. I got 100 rounds stashed in the skunk.
Boy, you ain't not a body. What the man talking about this Sunday day? I'm supposed to.
Y'all, you already know what time it is. MK.
No days off, you know I'm a geek. No days off, I'ma pop my bitch. Better have my money, I'm the landlord.
I don't want to move fast. I want to move correctly. I just don't want to waste no time. If it's something that's going to take us a year to make, if it's something that's going to take us 10 years to make, that's fine. As long as we don't waste no time.
Oh, peace to the planet family. What's good? It's your boy Pimp Black. I'm sorry. Shout out to my boy Poncho. Poncho and Good Rum Punch is a sponsor for tonight's episode, family. So salute to them. Salute to y'all, man. Salute to, give yourself a round of applause, man. Give yourself a round of applause for being great and being who you are, man. You're tuned in to the Ugly Truth Podcast. Hey, wait a minute. This is peanut butter right here. Family. Salute the Living Hat Company. Unofficial sponsor, man. Y'all gonna see the tag soon, but salute the Living Hat Company, man. I always got that flavor, man. I call this one here peanut butter. This peanut butter right here. Salute to everybody on my Facebook family. Salute to everybody checking in on the YouTube, Twitter, Thread family. Salute to all of y'all. Spotify, Radio Public, Deezer, Apple Podcast, iTunes, Google Cast. Man, listen, wherever you checking us out at, family, salute to every last one of y'all. We here, family, and this is, and you see the caption, this is Survival Love. And as always, y'all already know what time it is, man. Y'all do whatever you got to do to support the brand. You know what I'm saying? It's Blackadelic Entertainment. This is the Ugly Truth Podcast. It's brought to you by Blackadelic Entertainment. I am your gracious host, Pimp Black. That's the acronym, man. All of the strengths, none of the weaknesses. PIMP, that's a perfect in making progress. And things proven in my passion. You know what I mean? And, because game is to be, applied, right? And game applied means elevation, and that's all this is. You know what I mean? Right here. I want to create a platform where I can drop this game on the floor, man. Hopefully y'all pick it up and run off with it, man. Take off with it, man. Well, salute everybody. Y'all want to show some support. Y'all already know. Cash App, $ Blackadelic ENT. That's how you do that. Or PayPal me at Blackadelic. Hold on. What's going on? Okay. PayPal me at Blackadelic. See, I already know, man. Y'all want to check that out. And of course, Blackadelic ENT, we got plenty of merch available. Y'all go to our online store right now. Exclusive merch, Bonfire store. We got No Days Off merch. We got Reckless merch. We still got a logo merch, Teacup Tata Lee. Y'all know the Mermaid Cartel going crazy. You know what I mean? It is what it is, family. Plenty going on. And of course, y'all already know that Birkin is screaming on all platforms. You know what I mean? If y'all want to know anything pertaining to Blackadelic Entertainment, be that, any one of the artists, be that the models, Black Angels, or be that right here, anything, pertaining to the Ugly Truth Podcast, check out our official website, family. It's BlackadeliCENT.com. Again, it's BlackadeliCENT.com, man. You know what I mean? Throw the hyphen on the end if necessary, but it shouldn't be, because, we own the demand. You know what I mean? That's what we're doing. But hey, this is the Ugly Truth Podcast, family. Salute to all of y'all, man. What's going on? It's a lot going on, really, right? It's really a lot going on that let's make sure. Hold on. But anyway, hopefully, but yeah, man, I had some thing different. Y'all know it's only a few days for me using StreamYard. I just jumped over here from wherever else, I've been, playing that, but we doing it so far. We're doing it so far. I'm trying learning the gist of it. I don't study nothing. But we're trying to see what's going on, man. But salute to everybody, live on every platform checking in with us again. It's all about you, man. This is the Ugly Truth Podcast. The podcast for those who would rather be comforted. Oh no, for those who would rather be hurt by the truth than to be comforted with lies, right? Um, I created this podcast because there's a lot of coddling and a lot of pampering going on. There's a lot of um, a misuse of information, a lot of misinformation, a lot of disingenuous people, man, with not not a lot of I guess you could say a lot of good intentions as far as to you know, messaging that's brought out to the people, man. You know what I mean? So we just want to create a honest, positive platform where we can jump out here, you know what I mean, and do our thing, have some conversations, you know what I mean, network, sponsor connection in sight of mind that will, bring about change. You know what I mean? Be that, in our personal lives, where I like to focus on and in the communities as well, right? Um, but y'all know this episode, man. I had off of the trailers that I had dropped, that was going, very viral. You know what I mean? And this was definitely one of them ones. You know, it was definitely one of them ones. And so what I want to do, what I mean, we gonna jump straight in, family, because this is I'm jumping back at those of us that have been following Blackadelic ENT, of course. Um, this is formerly the Vain Verdict podcast, and on my podcast, I used to do I did series a lot of spotlight during the COVID situation when they started doing the Surviving Neverland or Mike Jackson, whatever that shit was, and then they did the Surviving R. Kelly. My response was that to that it's surviving America. It's nothing because there's been people even outside of those great gentlemen um that guilty of a certain behavior, not calling out crimes or anything, but there's a lot of people that we could line up in, and the punishment, the cancel culture, just the whole disdain for these gentlemen, it wasn't really there. It wasn't really the same thing. So um, I wanted to, come in and, shed light. Okay, now I see that these guys is wrong, right? But what's the difference between what they doing and, what we were, accustomed to, what was tradition and normal in the black community more so. Or and and from not just in the black community in hip hop culture. Um, as far as, guys dealing with, young girls or things like that, man. So, but let's see. But we gonna see. But this is, it's the Ugly Truth Podcast, family. Um, and I want to jump straight in. You know what I mean? And I want to welcome first and foremost. Wait a minute. Let me see how we want to do this because I really want y'all to I really want y'all to take heed of let me see because am I bigger than the screen. You know what I mean? I want to make sure. 'Cause I want to make sure because we'll jump in. You know what I mean? And get on this information, and I just want to make sure. Y'all can see the screen, see me. Okay, I can stay here, but I gotta be still. You know what I mean? I don't want to do a lot of moving anyway. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to do a whole lot of moving. Um, but you know what? Nah, I want the whole screen. I want y'all. Y'all need to. You know what I mean? Let's see. No. Okay, that's still going. Nah, okay, that's not a good layout. That's not a good layout. Let's see. Let's see, that's not a good layout. Is that? No, that's not one of them guys. Nah, that's not one of them anyway. Alright. Oh, boom. Okay, yeah. the straight screen, what I get to share with y'all, what I really want to do anyway. You know what I mean? So salute everybody, man. Again, you know what I mean. And we are where we at. You know what I mean. This is, the Ugly Truth podcast, and this episode is Surviving America. Jumping into our series, that's love and relationships. In this series, of course, we're gonna jump in. We're gonna dive into infidelity and communication and things like that. But this is I just want to set a precursor to the series. Moving forward. And y'all feel free, please drop any comments, suggestions, any idea, any opinions. You know what I mean? Or any statement and responses that you may have. You know what I mean, to the night's topic or any topic for any episode. And I highly encourage everybody to go over to our website and of course. Blackadelic.com/the ugly truth and sign up for our mail list. You know what I mean? Send your comments and questions there. We're glad. I can't wait to reach back out to you all. I really can't wait to reach back out to you all. But let me see to make sure. Okay. But yeah, I can't wait to reach back out to you all, man. But we're gonna get ready to get into it. So yeah, again, man, welcome to a special episode of the Ugly Truth. And here we dive deep into
So everybody's jiving, but let's jive on that level.
If I love you, I can't lie to you.
Of course you can lie to me, and you will. If you love me and you're going off with Maddie someplace, you're lying to me. Because what the hell do I care about the truth? I care if you're there. But Billie Holiday say, hush now, don't explain.
All right, I accept that.
Of course
All right,
you lie to me, because I don't even want to care. What does the truth matter? And why are you going to be truthful with me when you lie to everybody else? You lied when you smiled at that cracker down the job, right? Lie to me, smile. Treat me the same way you would treat him.
I can't treat you the way I treat him.
You must. Because I've caught the frowns and the anger. He's happy with you. Of course he doesn't know you're unhappy. You grin at him all day long. You come home and I catch hell because I love you. I get least of you. I get the very minimum. And I'm saying, fake it with me.
Yeah. And that's the ugly truth, family. I heard what this beautiful young woman said. We all listening to the words. But they don't make her no more. You know what I mean? But hold on.
Biologically, sex is designed for one main purpose, procreation. Anything else, that's extra. The female reproductive cycle comes around once a month. For a man, it's every day. For each sexual act, the woman's one egg is matched by the man's 120 million sperm cells. Now let's do some calculation. 120 million sperm cells a day, every day, as opposed to one egg a month, every month, means, assuming all the cells are viable, that it will take only 30 men to impregnate all the women in the world. This points to one clear fact. A man is, by nature, polygamous. Monogamy and fidelity are unnatural situations promulgated by religious beliefs and social pressures. Take those away, every man will cheat. It's simply biological. Now let's look at the extra. It's a known fact that women, for the most part, are more emotional than men. So it's natural that after a sexual encounter, she'll be attached. But because a man is visual and logical in nature, there's no emotion involved. For him, it's just a physical release that's got nothing to do with love. A man loves his woman by protecting and providing for her. Period. It's really quite simple. For a man, the physical and the emotional, two separate entities. Thank you.
Family. Family. I'd like to welcome y'all to a special episode of The Ugly Truth where we dive deep into the ever-shifting landscape of love and relationships in the year 2023. Now, in a world that's been defined by, rapid technological advances, evolving social norms, and a renewed focus on individualism, the tapestry of human connection has taken on new hues and complexities. I know we all agree on that. Now, we're going to, in this series, I plan to navigate through the uncharted territories of modern love, exploring how We want to explore how intimacy, commitment, and vulnerability have transformed against, the backdrop of this fast-paced digital age that we're living in. But it makes me question, are the age-old notions of romance still relevant, or have we ushered in an era where the algorithms hold the key to our hearts? From virtual companionship to redefined partnership paradigms. This Hopefully this series will invite every last one of you to question like I am, to reflect like I am, and hopefully unravel the threads that I think bind us, one to another in this brave new world that we're living in. You know what I mean? And having said that, I had to chop this love and relationship in 2023. I think the basis of what we going on, I had to break it down into 12 factors that I want us to consider, right? Virtual intimacy versus physical presence, the age of instant gratification, authenticity in the age of perfection, exploring non-traditional relationships, tech communication, and emotional depth of thereof. This love in a globalized world are definitely factors. Um, with other factors, empowerment and dependency, the role of gender and identity, longevity and commitment, environmental consciousness and relationship choices, right? And even, in relationship, balancing personal ambitions and relationships. And of course, mindfulness and, just emotional well being are all factors that I don't think, we taking place. Or I just really want us, to look at, kind of as we, move forward. Um, So I guess we'll jump there first, with virtual intimacy and versus physical presence. So it's like the world now is increasingly interconnected by technology. Um, so I wonder how has the balance, and maybe y'all can answer this in the comments. How has the balance between virtual intimacy and physical presence shifted in relationships? Um, are we experiencing Well, I like to think we're experiencing a redefinition of closeness as this digital communication becomes a little more prevalent, right? One of the things in the inner city, you pick one, Atlanta, New York, Houston, Baltimore, wherever you at, right? One of the things that I notice in the heart of these cities, a fascinating dichotomy that unfolds between virtual intimacy and physical presence. That's amid the neon lit streets and bustling cafes. The digital realm weaves its own tapestry of connection, if you will. I mean, look, how many couples do you see out there staring at their phones instead of each other? Virtual intimacy with its pixelated whispers and emoticon embraces offers a bridge across all screens. Now that's transcending distances and time zone, but yet amidst this vibrant digital dance that we all doing, the undeniable allure of physical presence, it still remains, everybody. Because you gotta remember, look, fellas, that electricity of that eye contact you make with a woman. Ladies, that warmth of a shared laughter because you know he funny, right? Even the raw energy touching touching create a symphony that that resonates within the soul. The interplay between the two is a testament to the complex evolution of human interaction. I mean, where wires and heartstrings intersect, ultimately defining the modern heartbeat in the connection. You know what I mean? Like I remind me of my partner Bob. You know what I mean? Bob found himself in a hilarious conundrum, if you will. Excuse me. I mean, Bob, look, he mastered the art of romantic texting using emojis like a Shakespearean poet, but when it came to actual face to face, being in front of a girl's face, he shook up. You know what I mean? He got scared every time. But one day, one day, Bob was tired of doing on plenty of fish and tender, and he wanted to go out and meet his little sweetheart, right? I think her name was Emily. He wanted to meet her in person, right? And when they stood face to face, right? ball heart, like his heart was beating fast as hell. Then his Wi-Fi connection during the thunderstorm, like mine was last night, right? And and I remember he extended his hand out for a handshake, but his nervousness turned it into a wild game of virtual thumb war. Emily, she burst out in a laugh saying, "Bob, I thought you were the emoji king, not a thumb wrestler." Well, at least he could still win her over with his digital charm and that solid internet connection that they made. But that's the generation, man, y'all. I ain't say how we prefer. I'm just old school, but like I said, these are the times that we living in. So that's why I have to digress to say that is part of, but that's part of the decline. I just really ultimately feel. What was the next? What was the next one? Oh yeah, the age of instant gratification, right? But see, that go with this social media. You know what I mean? That's how and I'll literally just flowing this. You know what I mean with the thought, right? That's like with look, think about the rise, of all the dating apps and social media, last say like 30 years, 25, 30 years, right? That give everybody got a desire, for this instant gratification, and that affects everybody's approach to love, ultimately, what I mean? I think, do you feel we becoming more impatient when it comes to building and sustaining meaningful relationships, like getting to know people and taking their time out, Um, because come on, y'all, patience is rarer than the unicorn sighting, right? And instant gratification reigns supreme right now, in our climate. People now treat microwave minutes as if they Olympic sprinters, tapping their feet impatient while they waiting for a 10-second video to buffer. Online shopping has become a race against time with packages arriving for you even regretting your impulse for purchasing. So I'm waiting on the package now that still ain't came. You know what I mean? Um, I mean, even in this era, even a slow Wi-Fi signal sign that's met with more horror than a zombie apocalypse. And we've all been accustomed to a lifestyle where we're waiting for anything longer than TikTok. Seems outdated as like sending a carrier pigeon, the RSVP your invitation to a party. You know what I mean? It just don't exist no more. You know what I mean? But that's definitely a thing. The instant gratification. Not nobody wants to really take time now to really get to know one another, right? And then you have the authenticity in this age of perfection or lack of authenticity. I should have said lack of authenticity. You know what I mean? Cause like, see, social media, uh, it showcases like these curated versions of people's lives. It ain't real. Like just what you want to see, not the bad time. And how you think that impact our ability to be authentic in relationships? Because like we idolize the J and B and Riri and ASAP. You know what I mean? And maybe Offset and Cardi, depending on who you are, I guess. We like what we like, right? But I be wondering, are we really struggling to embrace, those imperfection and vulnerabilities, as we, kind of try to aim to present an idolized image of ourselves? Think about it. I mean, this world is like filters turn regular selfies into Vogue cover shoots. That's why Drake said he been in Vogue. You know what I mean? And avocado toast get more likes than Shakespeare poetry. You know what I mean? But see, authenticity has become as rare as unicorn sighting in rush hour. It's like everybody competing in the perfection Olympics with gold medals. You know what I mean? Awarded to the slickest Instagram feed and uh the most goddamn sharpest man buns. But look, we done traded like that genuine laughter like I just gave for these meticulously rehearsed chuckles and like that them ladies with that I woke up like this attitude and now come with a 12-step skincare routine. Like trying to find a non Photoshop pic is kind of like searching for Atlantis in a kiddie pool. So salute to y'all for keep continuing to embrace those cricket smiles, the messy hair, and the fact that sometimes, we more reheated pizza than a gourmeted dish. I mean, let's be real. I mean, even if that means admitting that, your talent, your secret talent is binge watching cat videos or fight videos in your drawers, it's still you. You know what I mean? But see, y'all of the generation. I mean, how many man sound like he's stuck on the PlayStation game all day? Hey man, what it's saying. And look, hey, you know what? I think one of the main things definitely these non-traditional relationships. I said non-traditional. This ain't got nothing to do with, religion or your stance on religion or anything like that. You know what I mean? I'm just saying exploring non-traditional relationships. But, those that is a part of it. I'm not gonna be, let's not gonna be naive and just say, that's not what I meant as well. But see, okay, see, societal norms or relationships they constantly and continually evolving. You know what I mean? So how do y'all think non-traditional relationships such as open relationships, polyamory, or long distance relationships are challenging, ideas of love? Or what can most traditional people learn from these I guess you could say alternative approaches for lack of a better word, right? Hey man, um, see, I think that most connections should be built on shared dreams and those unconventional affinities, and not really bothered by societal norms. Basically people gonna do what they want, right? You got well, see, some couples navigate in love's uh intricate labyrinth, I guess you could say, and then that's embracing polyamory or open partnerships and even these different fluid identities, and friendships transcend into chosen families, and loyalty is paramount, and love really don't know no boundaries in 2023. Y'all, you know so I guess as we our landscape keep evolving, and same does so does relationships that flourish within our landscape, and it's and all the while it's painting still paints a picture of society that's unafraid to embrace um what's, I guess you could say, beautifully unscripted, right? Man, for lack of a better word, right? And it's not to offend anybody, so that's why I'm not going to now. I'm just saying my thing. Why these are things I think are factors, that could be challenging to, you know, what we view as these love and in relationships. It's trying to survive this America or Western civilization, dichotomy on what relationship is. But then everything is tech mediated communication and ain't even emotional depth. Like people don't even fucking talk no more. Like I was just saying. You know what I mean? You go out and you see a couple, you know what I mean, they staring at their phone more than they staring at each other. I mean, cause see, very great portion of communication that happens nowadays happens through text and emojis. Um, I think we're losing the depth of that emotional expression that comes with that face to face interaction. Like How, like, look, another question for y'all, right? How can we ensure that our digital conversations are as meaningful as those in-person dialogues? Does I love you in the text mean and feel the same that it does if you were told that, or you told that in person? I don't think so. But see, technology weaves an intricate, um, see these screens, these phone screens, these iPhone 13, 14s, and your Droid Galaxies. They illuminate these faces and emoticons that dance in lieu of spoken words. Now that's amidst the virtual symphony of, the text and messages. It's a paradox emerges, right? See, this is the text mediated communication. Now it's seemingly distant, but it opens an unexpected portals to emotional depth. Motherfuckers really fall in love. That's how you get shows like, Catfish and, all of that. You know what I mean? It's through these pixels and keystrokes, a shared moment or a heartfelt revelation can transcend the limitations of distance. And that's forging connections that echo with the resonance of genuine feeling. You know what I mean? But in this whirlwind that we in, where time races and attention spans waver, these digital exchanges become a modern day art, offering a canvas where emotions are painted with words, emojis, and the silence between sentences. Right? You ever see them when you see them dots? You know what I mean? When you wondering what the person saying, what they feeling. It don't took that away, that element, man, of sitting in a woman's face. Like y'all, it generated. My boys do this shit. They'll sit and just hold the phone, man. Like, we'll be riding in the car. I say, like, come on, son, let's ride. Let's go somewhere right quick. We'll ride. Now, the whole time, I don't even know the girl on the phone till she might just cough or some shit. Now, we in a ride team. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Or I might have been started talking to you about something. I'm thinking it's just me and you on some one-on-one. And she right in the middle of the conversation. Agreeing. You know what I mean? But it's cool, you know what I mean? you know. But I guess emojis convey more emotions than words ever can these days. I guess and that quirky saga of our attempts at emotional depth. You know what I mean? Sending a crying face. It's like we now. I was like I said earlier. We like the modern day Shakespeare's, penning our sonnets and soliloquies with gifts. You know what I mean? In voice notes. To thumbs up or not to thumbs up becomes the question of our time. That as we kind of try to navigate through these treacherous waters of you know trying to decipher whether a K is a casual acknowledgement or some kind of cryptic declaration of passive aggression. But our smartphones have turned us into emotional archaeologists. Meticulously excavating the hidden meanings behind every ellipsis. And as we LRL, LOL our way and LMAO our way through life, and we find ourselves pondering this philosophical riddle. If an exclamation point isn't used, did the excitement ever really happen? Mm. Question your emotional debt, family. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. Um, but it's love in this globalized world that we live in, family. You know what I mean? Um, the ease of travel and the interconnectedness of cultures, have kind of led to diverse couples with varying backgrounds. Um, how do y'all think that impacts the way we understand and experience love, across cultural and geographical boundaries? Um, I mean, in this globalized metropolis that we in, love weaves its narrative, so to speak. It transcends borders and defies all time zones. You know, with us embracing diversity, is like it manifests as like a symphony of cultures and languages. A fusion of hearts, if you will. That was once strangers. Now different people come together. Um, amidst the lit up streets and the bustling market, love blossoms in the unlikeliest intersections out here. And sometimes smartphones bridge distances and virtual connections spark real emotions. Um, but um, in this era of, I guess you could say, let's say, ceaseless motion. Love stands as a testament to our shared humanity. And that gotta be, a reminder that even amidst, the chaos, our souls seek the harmonious rhythm of companionship. And that's no matter where in the world, it could be found. I mean, in this world, we're in a global connections and Wi-Fi driven romances. Love has gone from candlelit dinners to emoji laden texts. I mean, it's like a worldwide game of emotional ping pong, going back and forth, where you swiping right on someone who's probably snacking in a completely different time zone. And if love letters used to cross oceans, now they cross fiber optics cables at the speed of light. Now, forget about them serenades under the balcony nowadays. Remember, niggas get the guitars saying, "Oh, baby, I love you." Because nowadays, it's all about syncing them playlists on streaming platforms. You know what I mean? Like, sending your girl Birkin, you know what I mean? By Tico Tata Lee, that's screaming on all platforms. Or, you know what I mean? This type shit, you know what I mean? But I still got it, it's streaming on all platforms right now. So, here's to you modern lovers, man, where good night, sweet dreams have been upgraded to good night. Don't forget to like my Instagram post from yesterday. And it's our generation, man. I don't know what they call y'all Generation Z. You know what I mean? Generation Z, you know what I mean? Or whatever y'all is. In relationship, man. You know what I mean? And one of the biggest things, one of the biggest factors, I think, is that battle that people are constantly having with empowerment versus dependency, when it comes to relationships. Because we're living in a time now where, like, personal empowerment is encouraged. And so if personal empowerment is encouraged, how do we balance independence, with the human need for companionship and emotional support? I mean, do you feel we're fostering self-sufficiency at the cost of meaningful independence? Um, I think the dance of empowerment and dependency, it unfolds, within the relationships. Um, you know, uh, Going back, amidst those big skyscrapers of interdependence and that delicate equilibrium of salt, empowerment, is a beacon of self-reliance. It casts a vibrant glow on you. Inspiring individuals, to stand tall on their own paths. Yet the alleys of intimacy echo with the subtle cadence of dependency. You know what I mean? And this is more mainly true for, you women, you know what I mean, in translation, where and some men too, and it's still either way where a lot of this intertwined lives, can find strength in the unity. But I think, in our community, the urban landscape kind of it mirrors this um, intricate choreography where partners move, with the ebb and the flow of liberation and reliance. For in the city of relationships and it well in the it, okay, well, for the city of relationships, art lies not just in the steps taken, but more so like in the harmony discovered in the balance between personal strength and the gentle embrace of that interconnection. you know um because in the jungle of modern romance, I think the battle of empowerment versus dependence, it still rages on. I mean, imagine, let's just let's say her name, let's say Brenda, right? Brenda is the queen of independence, right? I don't need nothing. She striding through the city street like she owns the place. You know what I mean? Like, and she got a self-help book in one hand and a kale smoothie in the other. Uh, she giving off the aura, I don't need nobody. But see, on the flip side, you got Tim, right? Who convinced that adulting is just a myth, perpetuated by laundromats and tax forms. Uh, and he take the brundle, like a barnacle, like relying on her to even remember his own birthday. One day, Brundle's book club, stages an intervention in insisting she deserves a partner who brings more to the table than him. You know what I mean? Than he has an inability to kind of operate a washing machine. But meanwhile, in the same time, Tim stumbles upon a learn to adult workshop that starts handling his own bills. In a twist of fate, they meet at a do it yourself home improvement store, right? Now both of them reaching for the same power drill. Their eyes lock and sparks fly. Well, figuratively, of course, reaching for the drill. They realize that the balance is the ultimate power move in the grand dance of relationships. And so, armed with a toolbox of self-reliance and interdependence, they set off to conquer the concrete jungle together. One hilarious mishap at a time. I mean, one can find the other, family. Where humbling your empowerment and what I mean, like, and strengthening your, dependency, what I mean, can, sometimes find justice in relationships, right? But everybody got a role to play. With that said, the role of gender and identity. And now I know I'm probably gonna piss a lot of people off with this one. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna try to choose my words carefully. Why? Because I don't want to get flagged. You know what I mean, or anything like that. I want y'all to be flagged in the tunnel, um, but we gotta admit, right? The conversations around gender and identity have expanded significantly. Um, I think with this expansion and the conversation about them, like how how do y'all think these constant evolving discussions are reshaping the traditional gender roles within relationships? Um, I think we moving more toward inclusive and equitable partnerships, right? The interplay of gender identity weaves a dynamic narrative. Like, people are no longer confined to the traditional molds, the modern urban landscape. It embraces a spectrum of different identities, but that's blurring the lines of convention, of course. Fluid expressions of gender reshape the dating landscape, kind of fostering connections that's beyond the binary or whatever you want to call yourself these days. In your coffee shops and your art galleries on busy streets and them dark bars, relationships flourish on the grounds of authenticity and acceptance, these days, you know what I mean? Um, but most of us, let's call us urbanites. We navigate through this labyrinth of desire, you know. But I like to think, we're still guided by a compass of respect for each other's chosen identities. As as a city, it beats with diversity. You know what I mean? And the role of gender and identity in relationships become a vibrant mosaic, if you will, reflecting, the ever evolving nature and love of most human connections. You know what I mean? So, in translation, I can't really knock nobody for what they do, right? I don't subscribe to it, you know, because it's a whirlwind, man. And in this whirlwind of modern dating, gender and identity often perform a dramatic tango. You know, it's like going to a buffet, where the labels on the dishes keep changing faster than you can say commitment issues. I picture this. Like, say you on a date with someone who identifies as a kale loving, dog whispering, avocado toast enthusiast with a hint of vintage vinyl collector. And and immediately you realize that you left your Venn diagram translator at home. Are they looking for a partner, a sidekick, or just someone who can appreciate, their collection of fucking mismatched socks? And as you try to navigate through this world of gender pronouns, personality quirks, and ever elusive, I'm not like other exes, you can't help but wonder if Cupid needs a crash course in this contemporary choreography. Will love ever conquer all? Or will you just end up swiping right into a parallel universe where all the socks are ultimate relationship status symbols? Embrace your chaos, man, and dance on. Goddamn kaleidoscope romantic warrior, you. Hey, man. Are y'all committed, man? It's longevity and commitment, man. You know, it been like, okay, it been a lot of advancement, in healthcare and longer life expectancies. Man, look at them, some of these Hollywood motherfuckers, man. Some of these women 50 look 20. A lot of them 60 look 30, man. It's crazy. You know what I mean? Um, how do we how we gonna define commitment and adapt to the changing phases of life in context of relationships? You know, um, so in our rapid, this rapid flux of existing in our community where we um innately love to do. I mean, I think most couples who weather the storm, of change, with unwavering devotion, kind of stand as a testament to the power of connection. You know, just as the skyline evolves, so do most relationships transform. Navigating the dynamic tides of time. The commitment, the understanding, supporting, and growing alongside a partner becomes the bedrock upon which the urban love story is written. A tale of two souls striving amidst the vibrant chaos, bound by the unbreakable thread of commitment and fortified by the promise of a lasting journey together. Now, in the fast paced jungle of modern romance, where swiping left and right is practically an Olympic sport, like I said, longevity in a relationship seems as rare, as that unicorn ordering a pumpkin spice latte that we were talking about. Commitment? Shit, man, please. That's like finding a needle in a haystack made of commitment issues. It's like, honey, you remember that time we started dating when dinosaurs roamed the earth? And then she like, yeah. And remember when the internet was just a bunch of tangled phone cords? We talking about a relationship that don't survive more iPhone updates than anyone that's willing to admit. It's like they don't unlock the secret level of love, where the password is, are you really going to eat that last slice of pizza? And the answer is always a resounding, fucking right I am. Fuck wrong with you. Man, look, see, that's an environmental consciousness. I don't want to go through all of this, but I'm not gonna be able to go through all of this. I already see now because maybe I'm moving too slow. Maybe the time is not gonna permit me to get through it. But nah, okay, nah, we're gonna keep it going. Okay, we good on time. I mean, environmental consciousness and relationship choice. I felt like this was a factor in relationship because um people, a lot of people don't tend to look at the world different. People have different world views and political views, and um, as as environmental concerns grow, individuals are factoring in their potential partner's stance on issues like climate change and sustainability. Um, how are these considerations influencing the choices we make in romantic lives, though? Like, I mean, we in this ecotopia, where recycling bins outnumber parking spots for sure. Environmental consciousness even crept into the realm of relationships, right? Take a folks Sam and Alex, if you will. Now they were a dynamic eco duo. Were passionately in love with both each other and Mother Earth. Now, their idea of a romantic dinner was a candlelit feast of locally sourced kale and quinoa, served on upcycled wooden plates that had a rustic resemblance to old skateboards. And they exchanged sweet nothings about reducing carbon footprints while holding hands, and their pet names for each other were variations of endangered animal species. Their love language. Now, they were both fluent in sustainability jargon. Even their breakups were eco-friendly. They'd compost their grievances and let them fertilize the garden of personal growth. Friends would chuckle saying, only in Ecotopia would a heartbreak be mistaken for compost. I can't lie, I'm funny, man. It was funny, man. Keep it real, man. Balancing personal ambitions and relationships, right? Is another factor that I think hinders um, the involvement of love and relationships in 2023. Because this world encourages, the pursuit of personal and professional ambitions. Um, uh, so like, and so much chaos is going on. The delicate dance between, you know, personal aspirations and meaningful connections, unfold. Skyscrapers rise as aspirations do, each one reaching for the limitless sky. Yet, amidst this ceaseless rush, there's an art in intertwining those ambitions with the tender threads of relationships. Just as the urban landscape thrives on synergy, like we discussed earlier, so do the individuals in their pursuit of dreams and the embrace of loved ones. Now, navigating this intricate tapestry demands a harmony of communication and understanding, a bridge between ambition, spark, and the warmth of shared moments. In the urban rhythm, I think the true metal lies not only in scaling personal heights, but also crafting a skyline where the tallest towers are built upon a foundation of cherished bonds. You know, it takes me and my partner Jake. Jake found himself juggling the ambition of relationship, like a circus performer, with one too many flaming choices. You know what I mean? He had too many. But, one of his girlfriends, Mia, had just cornered him, between his startup pitch and a romantic dinner. As she shot him that "we need to talk" look, Jake's mind raced faster than a taxi in rush hour. Well, see, he imagined his startup dreams as a tower with wobbly jingle blocks, and his relationship as a high-stakes game of Twister. With sweat on his brow, he blurted out, "Mia, you're the pivot to my business plan, the beta test to my love life, and the algorithm to my heart." Well, let's just say I'm aiming for a harmonious merge, not a catastrophic crash. Mia burst into laughter, and Jake realized that maybe balancing ambitions and relationships wasn't just about juggling after all. It was about finding the perfect mix of laughter, love, and maybe a pinch of, startup jargon. You know what I mean? And that's a fact. You know, that is a fact. But, and the final family, the final factor, I add for this now. And like I said again, we're gonna break all of these down and moving forward. We dive more into, our surviving series. But one of the most these one connected to me, mindfulness and emotional well-being. Serious one of the more serious factors that I think are like, hindrance or probable causes for, you know, I guess you could say, I'm going to say the demise that I've yet to say yet in this hour. We've been up here conversating the demise of love and relationships in 2023. Um, so, so I think the practice of mindfulness is gaining traction as a way to manage stress and enhance emotional well-being. I mean, how can mindfulness be applied to our relationships, allowing us to be more present, empathetic, and attuned to our partners? Well, where we from, it's the heart. Lights paint the sky and footsteps echo through the concrete canyons. The rhythm of relationship finds its unique dance. Mindfulness becomes the secret compass, guiding us through the urban maze of emotions, amidst the urban symphony of sirens and chatter. Emotional well-being blossoms as a sought-after treasure. It's about noticing the unspoken pauses in a conversation, the subtleness of a touch on a crowded street corner, and the shared laughter that transcends that chaos, man. And it screens and hurried lives, mindfulness in relationships become a lifeline to understanding, empathy, and deeper connection, y'all. I mean, it's like finding solace in the moment, building bridges over hurried streams, and discovering that tranquility, within, urban storms. Where most emotional bonds thrive amidst the high rises and crosswords of the human heart. Now, mastering mindfulness is like trying to find a quiet corner in a carnival, though. Picture this: you and your partner decked out in a noise canceling headphones, practicing deep breathing amidst the sirens and car horns, only to be interrupted by a rogue pigeon dive bombing your serenity bubble. It's the urban symphony of love. But hey, emotional well-being is no joke. It's like navigating a two-person kayak through a sea of emotions. One moment you're riding the waves of euphoria, and the next you're stuck in the emotional seaweed. So, in this concrete jungle family, remember to take a mindful pause just as long as the pigeon doesn't steal your zen moment. You know what I mean? Keep looking up. And stop worrying about shit, right? Family, um, again, in this ever evolving, landscape of love and relationships, in 2023, these are just a few factors I think are good talking points, that we can offer up. It can offer an opportunity to reflect on, you know, how we're navigating through complexities of human connection, intimacy, and personal growth. And as we adapt to new technologies, changing norms, and expanding worldviews, I think it's crucial to engage in thoughtful dialogue to help us foster healthier, more fulfilling relationships, you know, in this dynamic era. Um, those are a few things, man. I don't want to share them things with y'all. Like I said, only a few little points, you know, that I did, you know, wanted to get to. And we're gonna tackle more, man. We're gonna have some infidelity out of a couple of guests that didn't want to come on. But you know, as I stressed to them, I'll bring them on at a later date. I just wanna put out, you know, put the bait out there first. You know what I mean? Let you know, give people a little gist of, you know, exactly, you know. Hold on. See, I wanted to give people a gist of, you know, exactly, you know, what we had going on and what we're trying to do over here. You know what I mean? And it's surviving America, family, love, and relationships. And we'll dive into more. Y'all, please hit the like, hit the share, and again, follow Blackadelicentertainment.com. Ugly Truth Podcast. You know what I mean? Comments on our fan mail list. You have any comments, concern, questions, anything about, you know, anything we discussed tonight, you know, jump in the fan mail, get on the list, whatever. Go check everything out, family. Check everything out. Look, please, you want to support the brand, Cash App right now at $Blackadelic ENT. Salute to all our listeners. Salute to everybody checking us out on Facebook Live. Salute to everybody on YouTube, Twitter family, Thread family, Instagram family. Everybody listening right now on Spotify, Deezer, Radio Public. Everywhere y'all checking us out at family. This has been the Ugly Truth Podcast. This is Blackadelic Entertainment.
Know that they hating on me. I pull up to